Capaldi. Yeah, you fight that regeneration. We don't want you to go either. Well, that's how they get me off the show, kicking and screaming. Oh, hello, my name is Fu Manchu, and if you're a big Doctor Who fan like I am, you probably heard some news lately. Yep, it seems the 12th Doctor is on his way out, and the 13th Doctor is on their way in. And if it's not going to be this guy... I mean, come on! Not only is that an awesome idea, but think of the movie crossover potential. And the posters would say things like, "The Doctor will kill you now!" I mean, think about it! That'd be so awesome. And besides, doesn't Jason hold the trademark rights for the number 13? I mean, just saying. But nope, they didn't go with Jason, my first choice. But they didn't go with him. Nope, they went with actually someone else. And man, do people on the internet hate it. But then again, people on the internet hate everything. But sometimes people on the internet really do hate things for the right reasons. And the reasons that most people are angry isn't because of who they picked. I mean, I could care less. I'm a big Doctor Who fan. And as long as they pick a good actor, I don't care who plays the Doctor, as long as it's good. But you know what? Nope, it seems an ideology won out again. And just like putting Rey in Star Wars, and then we got Jyn in Rogue One, now we're going to have just a plain Jane Mary Sue freaking character in Doctor Who. Dr. Sue. That is actually pretty good. But you know what? Yeah, who knows? I think the problem really isn't the fact that they cast a woman in the role. It's the fact that all of the doctors actually had like a quirkiness about their looks. And she really kind of doesn't. She just looks like a girl. I mean, really. I mean, there's nothing quirky about her. I mean, look at this. Just looking at the most recent Doctors, because the series kind of started all over again with the 9th Doctor, Christopher Eccleston, and he's my absolute favorite of all the Doctors thus far. And you know what? You can't tell me that this guy does not look a little quirky looking. Then we move on to the 10th Doctor. Get it, David Tennant. Everyone's favorite Doctor. And you can't tell me, no matter how dreamboaty you think he might be in real life, he was kind of quirky too. And you can just tell by looking at him. And you know what? He had a lot of fun in the role. You can tell all the people that played the Doctors had a lot of fun. But they all had kind of a quirky look about their face. Then we move on to the 11th Doctor, Matt Smith, who channeled David Tennant very, very well, but also made the character his own. And you cannot tell me, when you look at him, that you don't think he's quirky looking as well. And then we have the most recent 12th Doctor, Peter Capaldi, who in my opinion actually looks the most like the Doctor character as I see him in my head. Because I do think the character should be an older man, I do think he should be like a fatherly figure, and I do think he should be an authoritative looking figure. And you can't tell me that Peter Capaldi does not look like he could scold you majorly. And you know what? That is something that the Doctor really needs. Because when people started talking about David Tennant like he was some sort of a sex symbol, and the Doctor became a sex symbol, I was like, okay, that guy? Sure, I guess. But you know what? I don't think the Doctor's supposed to be a sex symbol, and I don't think he should be this really cutesy-looking guy. I think he should be this kind of authoritative-looking person. Which leads us to the upcoming 13th Doctor, played by Jodie Whittaker. And I'm sorry, just by looking at her, there's nothing quirky about her face whatsoever. I mean, she just looks like a typical girl, woman, whatever you want to call her. And there's nothing about her that screams, the Doctor. And, you know, who knows? We haven't seen her in action. Maybe she'll Captain Jack Sparrow it up or something and be all over the screen just chewing up the scenery. We don't know. But I do know that there's one major, thing, like alarm bells going off. And everybody's praising her because she was in that show, Broadchurch. Now, I really like that show, Broadchurch, a lot. And when I heard that the actress from Broadchurch would be playing the new Doctor, I thought, oh, Olivia Colman? Huh, I guess so, why not? I mean, she was cool in Broadchurch because when I think of Broadchurch, I think of her and I think of David Tennant. I don't think of the pregnant woman from the show. I mean, I'm sorry, but I don't. And there's nothing about her performance that goes, hey, she would be a great Doctor. Now, the other warning bells that are going off is the guy behind Broadchurch, Chris Chibnall, I believe his name is. Yeah, he's now in charge of Doctor Who, and then he brought over Jodie here from Broadchurch, essentially, to this. And I'm like, that's kind of acting nepotism. I'm sorry, but you're just bringing in people you've worked with before. Now, I would do that too. If I had a long list of people that I knew were good actors, I would do that too. I would always pick from people. But I'm sorry. It's like he went, well, I know I want to cast a woman. Who's a woman that I really liked working with? And he picked her and then claims that she did something amazing at her audition and stuff like that. Who knows? Maybe she did. We'll see, I guess. I don't know. I do know, like I said, I do wish she was a little bit, more quirky looking. I think now people are going to say she's a sex symbol in the other direction, and if you think she's a sex symbol, now you're sexist. Oh, come on, man. I mean, she's good looking. I get it. All the doctors have been good looking in their own way, if you want to say that. I've never thought any of them were ugly. I just think they look quirky. Now, like I said, there's nothing about her that looks quirky, and I do think that's a major point against casting her. But that's just my opinion, and there's a lot of people out there that would say that my opinion makes me sexist and stuff like that, because I don't want a girl to be the doctor. Well, as an actor, I have to say that if I was going to cast the character of, let's say, Hamlet, I wouldn't cast him as a woman. And the reason is because he's described as the Prince of Denmark, not the Princess of Denmark. And I don't care how good of an actor you are, you can't pull off all the mannerisms. And trust me, my wife has played a lot of male roles in her time, and she did them very well. But you know what? You still don't pull off the illusion 100%, and I don't think the doctor should have, feminine qualities about him. I mean, because what's the first thing that's going to happen? Because when Christopher Eccleston looked in the mirror, he messed with his ears. When David Tennant first changed, he went, new teeth, that's weird. And then we had Matt Smith who went, blimey, look at my chin. And then you had, Peter Capaldi who was like, angry eyebrows, no, what's she gonna do? Look down and go, boobies, boobies. I mean, seriously, what else could she say? I mean, her hair looks like William Hartnell's hair anyways. I mean, she can't say, oh, my hair's long. His hair was long too. Heck, Matt Smith's hair was long. I mean, even when he changed, the first thing he said when he felt his hair was, let me go. No. And judging from his reaction, he's not too happy to be a girl. And since this character, the 13th Doctor, is just the first all the way through the 12th up to her, she better react very negatively about being a woman. She better freak out and go, I'm a girl now, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. But nope, they'll be like, I'm a girl now. I'm smarter, I'm faster, I'm better, I'm everything, blah, 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 blah. I'm Dr. Sue. Dr. Mary Sue. But you know what, seriously, yeah, I don't know. Honestly, though, I think the only fan base that should be really angry or up in arms is the Ginger fan base. I mean, Doctor Who has been teasing the fact that he wants red hair with every regeneration. And with every regeneration, no red hair. I mean, seriously. And she doesn't appear to have red hair. I mean, maybe strawberry blonde at best, but she's not redheaded. It doesn't look anyways. I guess she can dye her hair because she's a girl now. I guess. Oh boy, that'll be fun. So she'll be a fake Ginger. Man, if I was a Ginger, I'd be angry. I'd be like, don't you dare misrepresent us. And start a Ginger, march or something. But you know what? I do have to say, all of this aside, it's just a television show. Nobody should be angry. I hope the best actor got the job. I mean, seriously, that's all we can hope for. And if nepotism, or, especially that kind of acting nepotism where a director or a producer goes, I gotta cast my friends. If that didn't happen, or, I don't know, all of that aside, as long as no negative things went into her getting the character, fine. Hey, Jodie, prove to us that you're awesome, and we will love you as the 13th Doctor. But I do have to say that one thing says it best. When I look at all of these photos, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one, and knowing that it's supposed to be the progression of the same exact character, the only thing that I hear ringing in my head is the Joker from The Dark Knight saying,
I mean, what happened? Your balls drop off?
And sadly, I think we all know the answer to that question, don't we? Yeah. I don't like how the new Doctor Who is going if they're trying to bring in some sort of ideology or political correctness. I mean, seriously, the poster should say, the Doctor will PC you now. That's pretty funny. Now, sadly, since Peter Capaldi is on his way out, let's talk about this Big Chief 1/6 scale figure of the 12th Doctor, shall we? Now, I got it recently. It's been, I don't know, a year or so, maybe, I don't know how long ago, but I got it a long time ago. I live in a time machine. I don't know what year it is, but you know what? Seriously, this figure is awesome, and I absolutely love it, and I actually got my dream figure set of 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th Doctors on my shelf, and it is awesome. Now, when this head came out, as you can see, it's from when he first appeared as the Doctor, and his hair is a little shorter than it looks now in the show. His hair's gotten a little bit poofier, but there's actually another head sculpt out there called the Regeneration Head, and I've been wanting it for a long time, and I finally got it in my grubby little doll hands. So today's review will be on the following. Today's review will be on the Big Chief Studios, and I hope the current PC police don't catch wind of their logo. They'll probably be like, oh, you're cultural appropriationing that heck out of that Indian headdress. How dare you, good sirs, how dare you. But I like it. You keep it. I think you should add a little smiley face in there and maybe a little flip-off finger and say, hey, PC people, stay away from our little Indian headdress. The Bibica Doctor Who 12th Doctor 1/6 scale expansion pack alternate regeneration portrait. And man, what a mouthful that is. And check out the barcode down there. They were branded by laser scan just like Reese from Terminator. And you got the Bibica line, or the logo, and then down here it says a product number and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, it's just a little box. It's just a plain little box. And if you flip it over, you can see just how plain it is. But yep, just a little box. But I didn't buy it just for the box. I bought it for what's inside. So let's look inside, shall we? Now, opening the flap and looking inside, we will find foam, and I absolutely love seeing that because I know what's underneath there. Awesome stuff. So let's remove this top layer of foam, shall we? Now, underneath that top layer of foam, we find, check it out, Peter Capaldi's severed head. Oh man, no wonder he's having to leave Doctor Who. Somebody chopped his head off. But you know what? Man, that looks awesome, and I cannot wait to see it. Now, as you can see, it's the head and neck, and his hair's a little bit longer, so I say we remove it from this plastic and check it out. What do you say? So, here's the Peter Capaldi head fresh out of the package, and check this out. Now, with these Big Chief figures, I do have to say this. Their likenesses are very, very good. Their paint quality, everything is awesome. But always in video, they always look more doll-like in the video than they do in real life, and this head looks amazing in real life. Check that out. Yeah, as you can see, his hair's a little poofier. It's not quite as poofy as it is in the later seasons, but you know what? It still looks a lot longer than what it is on the other figure, and I can't wait to compare the two. His eyebrows seem to be a little bit darker as well, and as you can see, his neck is actually sculpted to look like an older man's neck. Let's flip his head around, shall we? So, here's the head from behind, and I have to say, this head looks a lot grayer than the other one. I'm just going from memory, but I thought his hair was a little bit more blonder or something on the first figure. I could be wrong, but this one does appear to have a little bit of blonde in it, along with a lot of gray, and that is awesome. And then down here you have his neck. Very cool indeed. Now, looking at both heads sort of side by side, you can definitely see his hair's a lot longer and a little bit grayer. And man, oh man, that is awesome to get an improvement like that. I can't wait to see what this head looks like on this body. But first, let's look at him up close and compare, shall we? Now, before we look at the figures up close, it is worth noting that side by side you can see a major difference. Now, I thought the head with the poofier hair would seem a little bit bigger since his hair would be a little bit longer. But as you can see, the head almost looks smaller, and the neck joint is definitely smaller. I mean, there is a major size difference here. Now, the neck joints are swap-outable, but I didn't try it yet, so I don't know if that'll work. And looking at the paint on both of the heads, it's apparent that the one that came on the body, or whatever, the 12th Doctor body, actually has a better skin tone, and the one that's the regeneration head on the left there, well, it looks a little bit more doll-like in comparison. Now, I really thought it was basically the same head, but with new hair. But yeah, this is totally different. Turning the heads to the side, you can still see how different it is. Yes, the hair looks better on the new one, but I don't know, the paint and everything looks a lot better on the one that came on the body. Looking at the heads from behind, you can see their hair really makes a difference. But man, there is a major neck size difference, isn't there? Now, Now, like I said, I have been wanting this regeneration head ever since it was first announced. I thought the longer hair looked really good, especially since Peter Capaldi's hair kept getting longer in the show. Now I'm not so sure that this is even going to work with my figure, and I actually prefer the original head a lot better look-wise, but I still prefer the longer hair of the newer head sculpt. And like I said, I don't know if their neck joints are compatible. Just looking at them here, I'm not sure I can make the new neck work with, or the new head work with the old neck. I don't know. We'll have to find out. But before we do, let's look at them up close. What do you say? Now, here we go with a super duper close-up look, and starting with the original head that came on the doll. As you can see, his hair looks a lot darker. It's got a little bit of brown into it there. You can see some speckling there on his forehead. Very cool indeed. Yeah, the skin texture looks really good on these figures. I think I prefer this one's eyebrows compared to the new one. I don't know, the new one just seems a little too dark, whereas these look like actually real eyebrows. His eyes on this original head look amazing, and then down here we have his nose. Got some more line and texturing there on his face, and then down here we have his mouth and his chin looking very cool indeed. So let's regenerate to the new head, shall we? So, here's the newly regenerated Doctor with his darker angry eyebrows. Now, as I said, these eyebrows don't look nearly as good. I don't know, just going from those eyes to these eyes, yeah, I don't know, but it's not for the eyes is why I bought it. I bought it for this hair, and check it out. It's a lot longer, like I said, hangs down in the front right there, the little bit of fringe hanging down. Very cool indeed. You got the same sort of texturing there on his head. It looks like there's some speckling there. It's really hard to make out. It may just be in the sculpt. It actually looks like it's just in the sculpt. Now, this skin tone doesn't look as realistic as the original head that came on the body, so I don't know. There, it seems like there's some speckling on his nose and stuff. Then down here we have his mouth and chin, and looking very cool indeed. Yeah, this head, it's almost there. But you know what? The original one still looks a little bit better and more realistic, but I still like the hair sculpt on this one right here. It just looks so good. Now, I didn't pop the neck in all the way, and this is the thinner neck. It almost feels like the ball joint, it won't go in the hole very well, but here it is just resting here. Now, if it had the other neck, his head would be up a little bit higher, just a little bit, but yeah, I think that looks really good, and I do think that hair sculpt really does make it look like Peter Capaldi a little bit more. I don't know, I just don't like the shorter haircut on the original head. But yeah, I think this head sculpt looks really good. I'm just a little disappointed in... Whoa, see, his head wobbles. I was going to turn him. Like I said, it's not connected. But yeah, I'm a little disappointed in the skin tone and stuff like that. I do wish his eyebrows look a little bit better like that. And that neck, I don't know what happened there. I just assumed they used the same parts and stuff and just made his hair longer. I don't know, man. But like I said, this head was originally for, what was it, the 11th Doctor? For when he regenerated or whatever, so maybe the scale's different. I don't know, man. But, yeah, I didn't expect it to be this different. Now, although I was hoping that it would be a little bit better, and I've been wanting this head for a long time, maybe I just got my hopes up, I do think the regeneration head does look more like Peter Capaldi, and I do think the original head that came on the figure, I think it looks more like House. It does look like Peter Capaldi, but I do think it looks like Dr. House. I don't know. But you know what? Hey, who cares? I think both are amazing. I think if you have either one, you're going to be very, very happy with it. So, there's my review of the Big Chief Studios 1/6 scale Doctor Who 12th Doctor 1/6 scale regeneration portrait. And you know what? As a little underwhelmed as I am at this head, I still like it a lot, and I'm so glad I was able to get it, and I got it on sale, so that was really cool too. But you know what? I do wish it fit better on the, I don't know, on the head post, because this neck joint is way too small or something. There's something wrong with that neck joint. But like I said, you could probably swap them out. I'll figure that out later after the review. But, yeah, I don't regret the purchase. I just wish it would have been a little bit better like the original one that came on the body. And it does make me appreciate the original one a little bit more. So, until next time, tune in for more Foo Reviews! Come on, felzbug, come on. You know, if I were you, I'd be angry. Because, I mean, seriously, you green puppet guys, you don't have a doctor to represent you, do you? Oh, no, it's going to be a blonde lady, not a green puppet.
Hey, this is Nolan North. You don't want to miss Foo Reviews.